Good day everyone, and welcome to another episode of Whazhatt. Today we're going to be taking a quick look at a game called Crest. The developers sent me an email directly asking if I could take a look at their prototype while their Indiegogo is still ongoing. So let's hop right into the game. We don't need to play the tutorial right now because I can show you how it all works. So it's got an interesting style. I'm not sure how final these graphics are, but it's not quite your normal tycoon style game. As you can see, we have some people here currently farming, I believe, as they're building farms. And I think that clapping noise is when your population increases. It increases the size of this sort of stylized city here. And the main way you control this game is not by clicking on your units, but you go to the commandments, and you can add and remove commands based on traits of the different people. And you can see traits people currently have by clicking on the city. So we have 3 clans, which I think are represented by each of these large people here, large men with hoes. And you can see their stats here, and it'll give you a explanation of what they are if you do a hover over. Someone with low greed will provide food for themselves and take a large portion. Now that's actually all greed, so someone with low greed will probably take less food, I assume. I'm not too sure how that quite works. High chastity, so they prefer to work, long lifespans. And low progressive, they're less likely to change the commandments that I've imposed. And essentially, these 3 stats will go up and down. So we can take a look here. There's progressive or conservative, fertility, chastity, greed, and goodwill. Now, in the last few, I only played this game a couple times, but I noticed a big thing is people will starve very quickly if you're not careful with the greed stat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if you have, we got a mix here. Let's say high greed, I want you to have low goodwill. Now you think low goodwill is kind of weird because you'd want people, you know, to share as much as possible, but if you do that, they don't take enough food for themselves and then they starve anyways. So I find low goodwill is kind of a good balance zone where people will take what they need but still leave some in reserve. That might not be the perfect situation. I might actually want to move it to like average goodwill. So I haven't really tweaked that out yet. And then another good one to set up quickly is, so this guy has high conservatism, got average, progressive, low. So let's grab low, progressive, and then make it like, I don't know, average conservative to make people less likely to change the commandments that I'm already putting in here. Now right now the game's fairly simplistic. It's kind of a rock, paper, scissors situation where, you know, if you have a stat you don't like, then you just change it to one that you do want. The next city continues to grow. Eventually they'll start spreading out and making new cities. This is one of the smaller maps. Sometimes they can be a little bit bigger than this with their randomly generated islands. I really like the concept, and I think it could get really complicated and interesting with a lot more different qualities and commandments. As it is right now, it's a little too simplistic, and I don't think it's quite balanced because you're gonna lose the game within a couple years, or maybe not even within a couple of years, within a few months. I find there's a speed control, but right now I probably want to keep it a little lower. So we're increasing our population here. We have more clans, and they're out growing more farms. We have too many people with greed. Low, average, high. So let's grab. If you have greed, you shall have your food. It doesn't really tell you exactly what you did. I'm gonna try this again. Low. This might have been rewritten. Low greed. Let's try average goodwill. And I've seen some comments about it's a little silly to say, like, you know, if you have negative trait, have positive of that trait and just flip it around. It'd be more interesting if you could only do more like a rock, paper, scissors situation where I can't directly control their fertility with just saying higher fertility. It's say if you have high fertility, then you have more greed or something because you're going to need to feed your children, or I'm not too sure how that works, but you get the idea. Where you can have sort of side traits. So it looks like someone just died here. I assume it was through starvation. They do have lifespans. Currently 3 years of age, will die at 45. Some of these people will be dying soon. So I should probably have higher fertility, because I think one reason I lose this game is because no wait. If you have low chastity, low chastity, then you shall have high fertility. I'll just switch it right around. Yeah, I think some of the reasons I lost this game in the previous playthroughs is because everyone just kind of got old and died. It didn't have a spread out population. So we're already losing people. We're down to 4 clans again. One of them is pretty new. Okay, so yeah, we're getting some population here. Everyone kind of has average goodwill. We have some people with fertility, and the progressiveness is fairly low. So everything is kind of right where we want it. So it looks like all of our commandments are still there. I think they either expire after a few days, or maybe a month or so. Actually, I guess we're already a few months in, so maybe not within months. They do expire, or they get rewritten, or just deleted by the people. I don't know if that has to do with conservativeness, or if it's just a trait of the game. People want to move out, but they want to move with others. So that probably has to do with their chastity. People with chastity tend to want to live in smaller cities, so they'll move out, but they also want some people around. So I guess with a few people with chastity, they'll end up creating a new town, and I have to track those people separately. So you might need to decide, I'm going to work on this one town and alter the traits based on it. But I mean, if there kind of is a certain build, if you want to call it, a certain list of traits and commandments that works. So you can see it looks like a bunch of my traits or commandments have expired already. So you don't really need to look for any particular situation. You can always just make sure you always have those traits set up. So after a while, it becomes a little repetitive because you're just constantly replacing those same traits. Looks like we still got a bunch of goodwill going on here. Still got a bunch of fertility. It's low, but it's still on the fertility side instead of the chastity side. And everyone has good conservative. This one's average conservative. Oh, these are progressive. Okay, maybe I want to change that. Let's go, if you have low progressive, you will have average conservative. And then very shortly, all of this should just switch right around. There we go. I guess that's like a horse and a bull. Looks more like a zebra and an inkwell. I'm not too sure. Oh, that's like a zebra. I forget what the other one was. Maybe this one over here. No. And it seems to be that even if you're specifying a specific level, like I said, if you have low progressive, you'll have average conservative. It seems like in general, everyone kind of switches, because I know not everyone here was low, but everyone is now average, except for this one. So I don't know how strongly these commandments stick. So we're now into March. See if we can make it to at least a year. We're gonna run out of room very quickly, if that's a thing. This town is not doing great. We probably should have some more fertility in that town, so we'll go, you have low, no, sorry. If you have high, UI needs a little bit of work because it's hard to actually see what I'm doing here. If you have high chastity, you will have high fertility. I just have some like colors on these buttons too. It's hard to sort of spot what you need all the time, but again, very early prototype. I have no idea where they're gonna go with this game. I can see there's a lot of things I would like sort of cleaned up though, like these islands could have a bit more shape to them. I think the towns, although I don't mind the stylization, I think they could still use some cleaning up and details. Like I have really no idea what's going on here. with these people standing around waving their arms, some small, some big. And then these people with the purple hats come walking out and like talk to them. Are they teaching them the commandments? Maybe that's when the cycle happens and everyone gets told what they should be doing with the priests or something. But yeah, I don't quite understand what's going on here. It's not very representative. So let's speed this up and see how far we go here. Average, conservative, low fertility, low greed. Everyone's kind of switched to low greed. I guess people don't jump around too much. It just kind of slowly moves from one to the next. So let's go back from, if you have low greed, you will have average goodwill. And that should, yeah, everyone's just bumped up. This guy has high goodwill. And it's not bad to have a bit of a mix to make sure that there's sort of a spread of your population. Not everyone's doing the same thing. And then looks like half of our people just died. This town is completely abandoned, and we lose because everyone died. So yeah, you can't run at that kind of speed. We only made it to April. But yeah, that's a quick look at Crest. Feel free to check out their Indiegogo campaign or their website. This prototype is available to everyone right now. It's a public prototype, so you can download that too and check it out. And if you like videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you all next time. Take care.